Hello, everyone. Welcome to Online Seller UK podcast. My name is Prabhat, founder at Online Seller UK, and we've been doing this series of podcasts related to Amazon and various other platforms. And today, I've got Jesse from eCommeleon with me. Jesse, welcome to our podcast.
Thanks, Prabhat. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So, Jesse, why don't you introduce a little bit about yourself and about what eCommeleon does?
Happy to. So I'm the co-founder and managing director at eCommeleon, and we're a software company based out of Leipzig, although I am originally British. eCommeleon is designed to fundamentally help online retailers prepare their product data and create listings on any marketplace or any online sales channel, really, also for websites, Shopify stores, Amazon, of course. But our goal really is to make it easy for online retailers to not become dependent on Amazon. Of course, it's going to be a large sales channel for most online retailers, but it shouldn't be the only one. And we've seen since 2007 that for many retailers, it's very, very easy to get stuck in a position where all of your sales are coming from Amazon. So that's where you put all of your effort. And if you want to learn how to sell on eBay, OnBuy, Walmart, or any other channel, it's really hard to do that because every single marketplace is completely different. And most sellers then end up in a situation where they put their effort into the place where they're getting their money. And then, of course, the inevitable happens, an account is suspended, and suddenly they go from a great business to nothing from one day to the next. And so we try to help people not end up in that situation.
Absolutely. I think that's something becoming very common these days. Common as in being dependent on Amazon, also common as in being suspended without any reason whatsoever. So no, that's really good. So today our topic is, and as you introduced, is marketplaces beyond Amazon and what other opportunities exist for online retailers. So let's start a little bit on that. So everybody knows Amazon, everybody knows eBay as well. So what other platforms apart from Amazon is out there that can be really beneficial for online sellers?
I think the first way to answer that question is with another question, and that is which country do you want to be selling in? Because obviously in the UK, Amazon and eBay are still kind of the leading marketplaces. You do have OnBuy, which is a fantastic, very quickly growing marketplace in the UK. But then there's the great thing about the UK is there's lots of niche channels. There's VO, which is a good marketplace for sustainable products. There's Not on the High Street for gifts. There's obviously Etsy. And then as you move across the pond and into the EU, there's per country, there's no end of marketplaces. France, for example, is very well divided. You've got Cdiscount, you've got La Redoute, you've got Fnac, you've got ePrice in Italy, you've got Wurten in Portugal, in Germany, which is obviously a very strong e-commerce country on its own. You've also got Otto and Kaufland, Limango. Really, there's no end of marketplaces, and depending on which category you're selling in and maybe what niche you are, who your buyers are, there's almost certainly a marketplace that caters to that niche. And obviously, since COVID, there's more and more marketplaces popping up everywhere because people have finally gotten onto the idea that marketplaces is a good business model. And so lots of traditional retailers are now opening the doors to let third-party sellers also sell on their channels as well.
Excellent. So let's move over to Europe because of lots of marketplaces you mentioned, right? So I think with these lot of marketplaces, yes, there are marketplaces, but do you really think there is an opportunity for growth in those? Because doesn't Amazon or any other, eBay dominates the marketplace there?
Not always. For example, in some countries, Amazon doesn't even exist yet. Sweden and the Netherlands, Amazon only entered in the last couple of years. Poland, they're not there yet, although you've got Allegro is the major marketplace there, and Shopee, which is an Asian marketplace, they've just entered Poland. So there are countries where Amazon don't exist yet. eMag in Romania, or it's a Romanian marketplace, and they're quite prominent in Bulgaria, Hungary, and Poland. So there's a lot of opportunity outside of Amazon within Europe. Of course, Amazon's worth selling on in Europe. It's still the powerhouse in Europe that it is in the UK and the US. But the idea in Europe is that there are buyers who they actively decide against Amazon. You know, there's both consumers who don't want to buy on Amazon, and there's businesses who don't want to sell on Amazon. And as that's the case, you know, you've got Otto and Kaufland in Germany in particular have, you know, they're getting more and more and more of a market share here because they're two very well-known German brands who Germans trust. And they're now marketplaces, and they've grown their marketplace to the point that they can easily onboard new sellers, and buyers know where to go to buy those products. I actually have a couple of clients who sell more on Kaufland than they do on Amazon, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I can totally relate with that also, because some few years ago, when we took one of our clients from Amazon to bol.com in Netherlands, we found the success which we never thought would happen, because like you said, the market was niche and there is less competition, and in fact we overgrown Amazon sales in that. So that's another side of that. I totally relate with what you're saying there. So obviously there is some challenges as we go and sell onto European destinations. Now, very popularly, you know, we went through the Brexit process, popularly or unpopularly, however you say it. We went through that. We went through that process. So, what sort of impact that Brexit can have for a business who wants to go to other marketplaces, say, for example, O2 or any other marketplaces?
I think, for one thing, obviously the elephant in the room is it's hard. You know, it's not as easy as it used to be for a British seller to sell in Europe. But the thing is, there are solutions. There are a lot of ways to do it. Obviously, it's seller dependent. It depends on a lot of different things, like what kind of business entity do you have, and where is your business entity, and there's a long list of things that you need to figure out in terms of how to do it. But for exactly that reason, it is worth doing. 70% of British sellers on Amazon have stopped selling on Amazon in Germany. So that's basically like the large majority of your competition don't exist on Amazon Germany anymore, because it's become too hard. But the thing is, if you put in the effort to get around that, then you're there and they're not. It's kind of a no-brainer. And the thing is, if you make that effort once, all you have to do is figure out, how do I sell in the EU? And then you have all of these other marketplaces in all of these, in the 27 EU countries that you can sell on. And it's the same thing as, you know, when we talk about things like translation, like if you're going to pay to get your listings translated into German, you want to make sure that you're going to get as much value out of those translations as possible. You don't just want to put them on Amazon Germany. You want to get them onto every German sales channel you can, so that they're going to start paying for themselves as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, you've said it rightly. So with all these efforts, that like translations effort or any logistic effort, right? We've got to sort of obviously prove the return on the effort we place in. So I think if I am to ask you, say, for example, does it actually worth doing all this? And then in terms of the growth predictions and things like that, what can we expect being into all these channels?
Well, I mean, for one thing, when you look at you need only look at the size of the market in the EU compared to the UK. If you've already got a successful business and you're only in the UK, it's easy to kind of look at what you might then be able to expect in France, in Germany. You know, if you say, okay, in the UK, we've got 60 million people and my market is this particular niche, you can say, okay, in Germany, there's 80 million people and the niche is going to represent the same percentage of the population, so approximately. It's quite easy to then calculate from there. It's obviously a lot easier if you were already selling in Europe prior to Brexit. It's much easier to kind of think about what you were selling before, and then you can factor in things that e-commerce has grown. You know, Germans were pre-COVID, maybe a little bit more skeptical about buying online. Cash was always king here. I can tell you from living here, that has definitely changed in the last couple of years. And Germans are definitely becoming a lot more digital. People that would have, you know, always had cash under the mattress are finally starting to, you know, figure out how to use online shopping and credit cards and things. So there's a definite uptick here, just in the day-to-day. Of course, nobody has a crystal ball. So you do have to take that risk as the business owner and say, okay, I'm going to expand into Germany. I see an opportunity here and I'm going to take it. Start small, start with a couple of products. Don't try and put 2,000 products in a warehouse in Germany and go from there. Like, take your 3 top selling products and get them over here, see how they go. Use that money, reinvest it, get more products over, scale it.
Absolutely.
People aren't doing it, so it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, before we end, I understand eCommeleon as a software can help people expand into all these marketplaces, right? So if you need to just in a couple of sentences how eCommeleon can help before we end the podcast, that'd be really good.
I think there's 2 aspects to that. There is the software aspect, as you mentioned, and I'm not going to go too much into detail with it. In effect, we're a listing solution and a PIM specifically for marketplaces. We try and give our users one process that they can use to create listings on any marketplace in the world, in any language, in any category. We've also actually just announced a new product where we partner with a German-based logistics company, and we can take care of that entire process. So if there is a British retailer that's thinking, yeah, you know what, I'd like to sell in Europe, I need the software and I need local business entity, tax, fulfillment, logistics, returns, et cetera, we can take care of all of that within Germany, and using that then as the basis for a European expansion, all driven by the eCommeleon technology. So you kind of have both options there.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned about logistics side is going to be really helpful for a lot of people for sure, because they do want to, when they come in, it's easier to stay with one of the platforms. Like, if I talk to you, it's get solution through that rather than talking with 20 other people. So I think that's going to be really helpful for anybody trying to expand. So okay, I think we come to an end, Jesse. So if somebody is to find you, where's the best place to find you?
The best place is really through our website, eCommeleon.com. So that's eCom as in e-commerce and Chameleon. And obviously I'm on LinkedIn, so you can always add me on there if you want to have a chat. And yeah, look forward to having a conversation with anyone that wants to expand into Europe.
That's great. Thank you again for your time today. So if anybody wants to see Jesse and Jesse's team, they are going to be with us in Manchester for our AmmoFest UK in March next year. And you can just see them in person and talk about your business and how you can expand into Europe. Thanks very much, Jesse, again. All the best. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye now.